Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. P. Vinod Kumar, Professor of Forensic Medicine at Sree Balaji Medical College. Today, I'm going to talk about the Pocso Act, that is Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act, which was brought in the year 2012. This act aims to protect children against sexual offences below the age of 18 years. The specific learning objectives of this presentation are why there is a need for the Pocso Act, the definition of this act, and the role of medical expert under this act, the rules framed under this act, the salient features of this act, and the principles of this act. Incidents of sexual abuse against children occur at schools, religious places, parks, hostels, etc., and the security of children is not guaranteed anywhere. With such emerging dangers, it was significant to introduce separate legislation which could provide a reliable system for mitigating the number of such offences and punishing the perpetrators. Although the Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted by the United Nations in 1989, the offences against children were not redressed by way of any legislation in India till the year 2012. Article 15.3 of the Constitution of India mandates the state to create special laws for children. Article 39 of Directive Principles of State Policy mandates that children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity. Now, why there is a need for Pocso Act? Before the introduction of the Pocso Act 2012, the sole legislation in India that aimed at protecting the rights of a child was the Goa's Children's Act 2003 and the rules framed in 2004. Under the Indian Penal Code 1860, child sexual abuse accounted for an offence under sections 375, 354 and 377. These provisions neither protect male children from sexual abuse nor protect their modesty. So these were the sections before Pocso Act, that is section 509, any word, gesture or act intending to insult modesty of women. Section 354, assault or criminal force outraging the modesty of a woman. Section 375, rape. Section 377, unnatural offences. Owing to the lack of any specific legislation, it was pivotal to establish a statute that pointedly tackles the issue of growing child sexual abuse cases in the country. With the efforts of multifarious NGOs, activists, and the Ministry of Women and Child Development, Pocso Act was enforced on 14 November 2012. Definition of this Act. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 is a legislation which aims at protecting children below 18 years of age from all types of sexual abuse. It also intends to protect the child through all stages of judicial process and gives paramount importance to the principle of best interest of the child. Definition of child sexual abuse in the Pocso Act. Child sexual abuse definition is comprehensive and encompasses the following: penetrative sexual assault, aggravated penetrative sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, sexual harassment, using child for pornography, child trafficking for sexual purposes. The above offences are treated as aggravated when the abused child is mentally ill, when the abuse is committed by a person in a position of trust or authority vis-a-vis the child. The Act prescribes stringent punishment as graded by gravity of the offence with a maximum term of rigorous imprisonment for life and fine. Now, what is the role of medical expert under this Act, which comes under Section 27? The medical examination of a child in respect of whom any offence has been committed under this Act, notwithstanding a complaint or FIR report is filed or not, is conducted under Section 164A of the CRPC. In case the survivor is a girl child, medical examination would be conducted by a female doctor in the presence of a parent or the child of whom the child reposes trust or confidence. Now, what are the rules framed under this Act? Preliminary rules which come under Section 1 to 2, sexual offences against children which come under Section 3 to 12, using child for pornographic purposes and punishment thereof under Section 13 to 15, abetment or attempt to commit an offence under Section 16 to 18, and the procedure for reporting of cases from Section 19 to 23, procedure for recording statement of the child under Section 24 to 27, and special courts under Section 28 to 32. The procedure and power of special courts and recording of evidence under Section 33 to 38, and miscellaneous under Section 39 to 46. Now, what is the punishment for this sexual assault? Penetrative sexual assault under Section 3, the minimum punishment is 7 years under Section 4, and the maximum punishment is life imprisonment with fine. In case of aggravated penetrative sexual assault under Section 5, the minimum punishment is 20 years rigorous imprisonment under Section 6. So this was amended in 2019. Previously it was 10 years. Now it has become 20 years. And the maximum punishment being life imprisonment with fine. Sexual assault under Section 7, the minimum punishment is 3 years under Section 8 and 5 years the maximum punishment with fine. Aggravated sexual assault under Section 9, the minimum punishment is 5 years under Section 10 and the maximum punishment is 7 years with fine. Sexual harassment under Section 11, the maximum punishment is 3 years with fine. Using child for pornography under Section 13, the maximum punishment is 5 years under Section 14.1. Penetrative sexual assault under Section 14.2, the minimum punishment is 10 years and the maximum punishment is life imprisonment with fine. Aggravated penetrative sexual assault under Section 14.3, the maximum punishment is rigorous life imprisonment with fine. Sexual assault under Section 14.4, the minimum punishment is 6 years and the maximum punishment is 8 years with fine. In case of aggravated sexual assault, the minimum punishment is 8 years under Section 14.5 and the maximum punishment is 10 years with fine. Now, what are the salient features of this Pocso Act? Confidentiality of the victim's identity. Under Section 23 of the Pocso Act, it provides for the procedure of media and imposes the duty to maintain the child survivor's identity unless a special court has allowed the disclosure. Gender neutral provisions. Another glaring feature of the Pocso Act is that it does not create any distinction between the survivor or the perpetrators on the basis of the gender. This overcomes one of the biggest shortcomings of the Indian Penal Code's provisions. Mandatory reporting of child sexual abuse cases. Sexual abuse cases happen behind closed doors, and the elders attempt to hide these incidents due to the social stigma that is attached to these crimes. Under Section 19 of the Pocso Act and Section 354C of the CRPC, both instruct the doctor or the hospital to mandatorily inform the police when they are examining any case of sexual violence. Failure to report a case under Section 21, any person in charge of a company or institution or by whatever name it's called fails to report in respect of a subordinate under his control would be punished with imprisonment of 1 year with fine. Previously it was 6 months with fine. With the latest amendment in 2019, the punishment was increased to 1 year with fine. Child-friendly investigation and trial. Sections 24, 26 and 33 of the Pocso Act lay down the procedure of investigation and trial which has been formulated keeping in mind the needs of a child. The Act has been instrumental in providing a robust justice mechanism for the survivors of sexual abuse and has highlighted the significance of child rights and safety. The reporting of cases of child sexual abuse has also surged as a consequence of awareness. The Act covers punishment for both non penetrative sexual assault and aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Now, what are the principles of Pocso Act? Right against discrimination. This is also a crucial fundamental right, an additional duty under the Indian Constitution. Right to preventive measures. Children being immature in their growing stages should be well trained so that they become capable of preventing abuses against them, thereby differentiating between what is right and what is wrong. Right to be informed. A child should be informed of the legal procedures that are being carried out for the conviction of the accused. Right to privacy. The main objective behind provisions like Section 23 is to protect the right to privacy of a child against whom any offence under the Pocso Act. To conclude, the Pocso Act looks into the support system of the children through a friendly atmosphere in the criminal justice system with the existing machinery. However, a multi-sectoral approach is required for investigating sexual offence cases, especially in children. Also, with a lot of changes occurring in the medical examination of sexual offences, it is important and pertinent to keep ourselves updated and disseminate the information to all the stakeholders, that is the health sector and the judiciary. These are my references. Thank you. To summarize, the Pocso Act looks into the support system of children in a friendly atmosphere in the criminal justice system with the existing machinery. However, a multi-sectoral approach is required for investigating sexual offences, especially in children. Also, with a lot of changes occurring in the medical examination of sexual offences, it is very important to keep ourselves updated and disseminate the information to all the stakeholders, especially in the health sector and the judicial system. Thank you.